A day the streets of Bangladesh's capital were engulfed in an uneasy calm. Ahead of a much-awaited court verdict for former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. With public sentiment running high, armoured vehicles and special units from police and the army, donning riot gear, were seen outside the premises of the International Crimes Tribunal in Dhaka. As the judge read out the verdict, sentencing former Prime Minister 78-year-old Sheikh Hasina to be hanged for crimes against humanity, cheers broke out in the packed court in Dhaka.
We have decided to inflict her with only one sentence, that is sentence of death. It is hereby ordered that accused Sheikh Hasina be found guilty on 3 counts under charge 1. Count number 1, incitement. Count number 2, order to kill. Count number 3, inaction to prevent the atrocities and failing to take punitive actions against the perpetrators.
The highly anticipated ruling, broadcast live on national television, comes less than 3 months before the first parliamentary election in the country since Sheikh Hasina left Bangladesh in August 2024. Former Interior Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal was also sentenced to death in absentia. However, former police chief Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamoon, who had pleaded guilty and was present in court, was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment, a sentence viewed as lenient by family members of some protesters killed in the uprising last year.
I am one of those 2 sisters who brought a procession with the dead body of our brother on August 5th. We are happy with this verdict, but we are not satisfied with the sentence of Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamoon. He should have been handed lifetime imprisonment at least, as he was a central figure behind killing so many children of our mothers.
According to the United Nations, up to 1,400 people were killed during last year's anti-government demonstrations between July 15 and August 5. Thousands more were wounded in the worst political violence in Bangladesh since its 1971 War of Independence. On the day of the verdict, the United Nations, while hailing an important moment for the victims, regretted the imposition of death penalty, which it opposed in all circumstances.
The handing down of verdicts today by the International Crimes Tribunal against Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and the former Home Minister on charges of crimes against humanity is an important moment for the victims of grave human rights violations committed during the suppression of protests last year. While we were not privy to the conduct of this trial, we have consistently advocated for all accountability proceedings, especially on charges of international crimes, to unquestionably meet international standards of due process and fair trial. This is particularly vital when, as was the case here, the trials have been conducted in absentia and led to a capital punishment sentence. We also regret the imposition of the death penalty, which we oppose in all circumstances.
While Bangladesh's interim government called the sentence historic and profound, Sheikh Hasina, who was assigned a state-appointed lawyer for the trial, called the verdict biased and politically motivated. The verdict, marking a pivotal moment for Bangladesh, also poses a diplomatic challenge for New Delhi and Dhaka. While Dhaka reiterated its call for New Delhi to extradite Sheikh Hasina, India's Ministry of External Affairs said that it had noted the verdict, further adding that it was committed to the best interests of the people of Bangladesh. Relations between the two countries have remained frosty, with Bangladesh accusing India of sheltering Hasina, and India in return expressing concern over rising anti-India sentiment and the safety of Bangladesh's Hindu minority. While absentia trials are more often than not contentious, this verdict has no doubt cast a shadow over Sheikh Hasina's future prospects of a political comeback.
It's been 10 days since the car bomb blast in India's national capital. With a multi-agency probe underway, the terror nexus runs deep from the white-collar terror module to sleeper cells operating against India. Among the prime accused arrested by the National Investigation Agency are Jasir Bilal Wani and Amir Rashid Ali, both residents of Jammu and Kashmir. The duo has been remanded to 10 days of NIA custody. Identified as an active co-conspirator in the Red Fort car bomb blast case, Jasir Bilal Wani is a resident of Qazi Gund in South Kashmir's Anantnag district. The NIA alleges he was an accomplice of Umar Nabi and provided technical support to the terror module, including drone modification and attempts to build rockets. Accused Amir Rashid Ali hails from Sambura Pampor in Jammu and Kashmir. He was nabbed in Delhi after the case was formally handed over to the agency from the Delhi police. According to the NIA, the I-20 car involved in the attack in Delhi's busy street on 10th of November was registered in Amir's name. In related development, sources in National Investigation Agency have confirmed that 4 high-profile accused in Faridabad-based Jaish-e-Mohammed module were airlifted from Srinagar Central Jail to Delhi. The individuals transferred are Dr. Muzammil Shakil Ganai of Pulwama, Dr. Adil Ahmad Rathir of Anantnag, Dr. Shaheen Saeed of Lucknow and Maulvi Irfan Ahmad of Shopian. The accused are slated for face-to-face confrontations with Dr. Shaheen Saeed and other co-accused already in NI custody in the national capital. The investigation into November 10 Delhi blast has unearthed a shocking history of terror ties at the Al-Fala University in Faridabad, where suicide bomber Dr. Umar Nabi was an assistant professor. Intelligence reports reveal that Mirza Shadab Beg, who is wanted in multiple terror attacks in India, also studied at Al-Fala University. According to reports, Mirza Shadab Beg is a native of Baridi village in Azamgarh. Beg completed his B.Tech from Al-Fala Engineering College, Faridabad in the year 2007. His name has been linked with some of India's deadliest blasts, including the 2007 Gorakhpur blasts, 2008 Ahmedabad serial blasts, and 2008 Jaipur blasts, among others. With probe picking up pace and more layers being unearthed, a lethal blast inside the Navagam police station last week killed 9 people, including revenue, SIA and forensic officials. At the time of blast, around 2,900 kilograms of ID-making material were placed inside the premises of the police station. The officials were collecting the samples when the accidental blast took place. The police in a statement said that it was an accidental detonation and not a terrorist attack. This week, the Air Quality Index or AQI once again hovered around the dreaded 400 mark in New Delhi. The severe category is a cause of concern impacting millions and prompting authorities to step up efforts to address the annual issue. In the past, authorities have pointed a finger at the farmers illegally burning crop stubble to clear their fields in the capital's neighboring states. Abandoning the practice of burning crop stubble, some farmers in Punjab are now switching to cleaner alternatives. Our next report brings you the details.
According to SAFAR, a weather forecasting agency under the Ministry of Earth Sciences, the Air Quality Index has hovered around the 400 mark over the past week in New Delhi, making the Indian capital among the most polluted cities in the world. The alarming pollution levels have posed significant health concerns.
राहत Pollution levels are very high. Because of that, even children are facing issues, but for the elderly, it's worse. Even people my age are facing problems, so pollution is extremely high.
The situation isn't any better across the border in Pakistan's second biggest city, Lahore, blanketed in dense toxic smog. Lahore ranked second behind New Delhi on the ignominious list of the world's most polluted cities. Struggling to make ends meet, working class residents say they fall sick often but can't afford to stop working.
I went to the fruit market as early as 7 in the morning to buy fruit. Yes, smog is affecting throats, causing cold, cough and irritation to the eyes. I fell ill 2-3 times and stayed home. But it is necessary to come here to run the business to make ends meet, even if one is sick.
With the advent of winter in northern India, cold, heavy air traps pollutants from construction dust, vehicle emissions and agricultural fires. The annual ritual of setting fire to paddy straw in Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh is often blamed for the spike in Delhi's pollution. Following years of post-harvest fires choking the air, there is a section of farmers in Punjab who are now switching to cleaner methods. They're using tractor-drawn machines that rake and bale the residue and sell it to factories instead of setting it on fire. For this, a baling machine to compress and bind harvested crops or crop residues into compact bales.
Due to stubble burning, we are exposed to smoke. It's not an exciting activity for us. That's why we are stocking it and sending it to boilers to be sold. This is beneficial for the farmers and us as well. Secondly, we are also preventing pollution that is adversely affecting the cities and making the air poisonous.
Sensing a business opportunity, many entrepreneurs are now turning stubble into cardboard, biogas and fertilizer. Due to the innovative solution, this year alone, over 2 million tons of straw were prevented by authorities from being burned.
We make these cardboard to prevent pollution. Generally, burning crop residue causes pollution. However, through these practices, by making products, we are preventing pollution and toxic air from spreading. That's why we make these cardboards.
The government also played an important role in spreading awareness and training the farmers on using the latest equipment, helping them to go beyond setting their stubble on fire.
So we are taking a holistic approach, not only sensitizing the farmer in terms of what are the better practices to go beyond setting their farms on fire and burning their stubble. We are also training them. We are training them on using farm equipment. We are getting the latest farm equipment developed with them in partnership with organizations in academia. We are partnering with corporates to get the right amount of CSR funding into being available for them so that they can experience a different kind of better, profitable way of doing the same thing and also not pollute the environment.
For small farmers though, given the costs involved, clean alternatives are often unrealistic. Balers, superseders and tractors cost a lot, and many villages have only 1 or 2 machines for thousands of acres, leaving no choice for small farmers but to burn stubble to prepare for the next crop.
So firstly, it is about the mindset of the farmers, and they are more or less, there are certain farmers who resist the idea of following the procedure of crop residue management. Secondly, it is also financial because it involves cost. When they have to clear their fields, they need money, extra money for that. Thirdly, it is about the gap of machinery. Although we've been able to provide a large amount of machinery for our requirement, but still there is always a gap. So we continuously try to fill up that gap, and which is going on.
While residents in the national capital region struggle to breathe due to toxic smog, Punjab's new farm practices offer hope, but the annual problem is far from resolved. Until the switch to baling becomes affordable for all farmers, and the pollution due to vehicular emissions and construction activities brought under control. The national capital region will keep fighting this annual cycle of smog, suffering and survival.
In April 2021, the then Sri Lankan president Gotabaya Rajapaksa had banned all chemical fertilizers in a bid to showcase the island nation as a model for organic farming. But the move backfired, which resulted in a sharp drop in rice output, Sri Lanka's biggest crop and staple food for its 22 million people. After Rajapaksa's ouster in July 2022, Sri Lanka reversed its policy on chemical fertilizers, but the farmers are yet to recover fully from the misstep.
In 2022, Sri Lanka had its worst financial meltdown in more than 7 decades. Rice output had taken a considerable hit due to the ban on all chemical fertilizers imposed a year earlier. Food inflation had soared to unprecedented levels and the economy was in the doldrums. As foreign exchange reserves fell to record lows, mass protests erupted, which led to the ouster of then President Gotabaya Rajapaksa in July 2022. Gotabaya's abrupt fertilizer ban had crippled harvests and exacerbated the island nation's financial collapse. Meet 53-year-old farmer KKG Tilak Bandra from eastern Sri Lanka, one of the country's main rice-growing regions. He recalls how Gotabaya's decision took a toll on every Sri Lankan farmer.
When farmers apply organic fertilizer, the harvest drops. Knowing that, farmers bought expensive chemical fertilizers from the black market. Even after that, the income was only 50% because the farmers didn't have enough money to buy an adequate amount of chemical fertilizer.
At the height of the 2022 crisis, Sri Lanka imported 783,420 metric tons of rice, worth $292.5 million, mostly from neighbouring India, the world's largest exporter of the grain. It's to be noted that it was the first large-scale rice imports since the government of Rajapaksa banned chemical fertilizers. Between 2021 and 2024, food prices more than doubled in Sri Lanka, deepening malnutrition and food insecurity and hurting rice farmers who make up a large share of the rural population.
We had a sharp drop of 34%. We are still struggling to recover. That's the most important point, because we did not apply the nutrients which is required by the crop to produce food for us.
Today, things have changed for the better. Preparing for the next rice cultivation cycle, Tilak Bandra is a happy man who lavishes praise on the new government, which has allowed a return to chemical fertilizers, resulting in a boost to farmers' earnings. But is enough being done by the current government, led by Anura Kumara Dissanayake? In recent months, the overall inflation has eased, but rice prices remain high, likely to prompt farmers to plant more of the crop. Rising prices of fertilizers, rice paddy seedlings and labour remain a concern. The high prices have forced many to take loans ahead of the current cultivation season. Rice farmer Tilak Bandra is of the opinion that the government could do a lot more to help out farmers.
Things must change. The government must introduce new technology and farming methods. That way, the income of farmers can be increased.
In a country where most farmers earn about 100,000 rupees or $335 as profit from one crop cycle, forcing them to stretch the meager income over 6 months, the government, which has reversed the ban on chemical fertilizers, needs to address other concerns of technology and innovative farming methods.
Now shifting focus to Nepal, which has received $9.4 million from the World Bank as a reward for its climate action. Here's a story of community-led forest management that's driving the change.
$9.4 million for reducing emissions. That's the amount Nepal has got for cutting down nearly 1.9 million tons of carbon dioxide in the Terai Arc landscape. The landscape, a trans-boundary conservation area, is situated in the foothills of the Himalayas, straddling the border between India and Nepal. This is Nepal's first forest carbon credit payment under a global emission reduction program, a reward that the World Bank says has been given to Nepal for its efforts in climate action. The World Bank said, and I quote, "This milestone payment is a testament to Nepal's success in reducing deforestation, strengthening forest governance, enhancing biodiversity conservation, and expanding sustainable livelihood opportunities for local communities." The success of the program is driven by its community-centric approach, where local communities, indigenous groups, and civil societies have worked together to protect forests, restore degraded areas, and improve rural livelihoods. The news has come as a hope for the Southern Asian nation, which is highly vulnerable to climate change, experiencing accelerated Himalayan glacier melt and increased natural disasters. In 2025 itself, Nepal was hit by multiple climate-related tragedies, including catastrophic floods during the monsoon, glacial lake bursts, avalanches, and snowstorms. In fact, this year, dozens trekked to Nepal's Yala Glacier for a ceremony to mark its rapid disappearance due to climate change and put a spotlight on global glacial retreat. Nepal has committed to achieving net zero emissions by 2045, a goal that is being threatened by climate change. But the country plans to maximize its effort in clean energy, decarbonize its transportation sector, promote sustainable agriculture, and maintain forest cover. The recent fund will be distributed under Nepal's benefit sharing plan, a framework shaped through consultations with local communities and key stakeholders who are working towards supporting forest restoration. This is indeed a new chapter for Nepal and its community forestry initiatives.
It was a big moment for all SS Rajamouli fans as his next film title was revealed in Hyderabad. After a roaring success of Bahubali and Oscar-winning film RRR, Rajamouli is now bringing Varanasi starring Mahesh Babu and Priyanka Chopra Jonas. With an estimated production budget of $150 million, it is said to be one of the most expensive Indian movies of all time. Take a look and I will see you next week.
I think it's really cool. I think it's lovely to have Priyanka Chopra in our Tollywood industry. It's not actually Tollywood now, it's global now. Our superstar Mahesh Babu is not a regional star.